you're in the mood for a good video.
Mom.
Exactly. Let's do it. I'm gonna teach you some of the dance moves first. That way you guys can dance along, okay? Are you ready? All right, so we are gonna go like this first. It's a really cool move. I like to call it the Z move. So we're gonna do the Z move that way and the Z move this way. And then we're gonna go like this and point to ourselves and say, I belong to the one who saved me. And we'll point again, and we'll point up a couple of times, and we'll say, I belong to the one who gave his life. We're talking about Jesus. Jesus gave his life for us. And then we're gonna go like this. We're gonna say, I will stand and I will say, and we're gonna go this way too. And then we're gonna point up to Jesus, and we're gonna point to us, and we'll point some more. I'll let you guys know when we point and when we stand and when we jump, and you guys are gonna follow me. Are you ready? Okay, are we in position? Are we ready? Let's dance! Woo! Hands to the side, and clap again. Do the arms to the side, and get ready to jump.
I belong to the one who saved me. I belong to the one
Jesus
who
gave his life. Get ready to stand.
So I will take my place. I will stand and say,
Jesus,
Jesus,
I
am yours.
Okay, let me see some clapping. Give me some dance moves. What do you guys got?
I am who God says I am. I am who God says
Okay,
I
one
am.
arm, you guys.
Let's go. I am who God says I am. I am who God says I am.
Make it cool.
I am who God says.
What can you do?
Says I am. I am who God says I am. I am forgiven. I am a winner. I have been chosen. Jesus, I am yours.
Oh, are you doing your Z arms?
Jesus, I am yours.
Z arms. I belong.
I belong to the one who saved me. I belong to the one who gave his life. So I will take my place. I will stand and say, Jesus, I am yours.
Again.
I belong to the one who saved me. I belong to the one who gave his life. So I will take my place. I will stand and say, Jesus, I am who God says I am. I am who God says I am.
Get it.
I am who God says I am.
What can you do? Give me some cool dance moves.
Who God says I am. You know I am.
Oh, let's jump.
Who God says I
Are you
am.
jumping?
I am who God says
All right, let's party. And give me your best pose. Woo! You guys did such a good job. That was so much fun.
Okay, you guys, are you ready? I have something that I think would be fun to do because I would love to know. I just love knowing this kind of stuff. So grab some paper, grab a pen, and use your imagination. Because what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Mr. Noah, Miss Sandra, and you guys, I'm going to say a Bible character. And I want them and you to describe them. Like when we say a certain name, how do you picture them? Like when you hear, John the Baptist, what do you see when you hear John the Baptist? Like, how do you picture him? Do you picture him with brown hair? Do you picture him with gray hair? How do you picture him? And that's what we're gonna do. So you ready? Go grab you some paper if you want to draw, if you're good at drawing, or if you just want to use your imagination. Because when we're listening to Mr. Noah and Miss Sandra, just start using your imagination and picture what they're describing. Y'all ready? Okay. We'll be back. Miss Sandra,
Yes, ma'am.
let's hear how you think Abraham looks.
When I picture Abraham, not my brother, Abraham in the Bible, I picture an older man who has like a really sizable beard and like some long hair. And I think that he's kind of like skinnier, but also muscular because he was walking around all the time and he had so much land that he had to tend to. So I figured he was really active a lot of the time, even when he was older. And so, yeah, I think older man, grayish hair, skinny.
That's what I was just fixing to ask you. It's like, what color hair?
Yeah.
So gray. Okay. Mr. Noah.
Yes.
Let's hear your description.
Okay,
of
so
Abraham.
it's kind of like Miss Sandra's, but so I think he had a big beard, but I think it was like black and gray is how I picture him. It had black. It was majority gray, but it had black in it. I think he was bald, but I do think he was tall, and kind of muscular, like the type of just like construction worker like build, and then like just dark complexion, and just being like a guy that you're just like, I want to call you grandpa, like when you see him. You know?
Yeah. I mean, he was out in the sun all day.
Yeah, all day. Yep.
That's a good description. Wouldn't it be funny if, like, when we actually see them, that it's like the Lord put it in us what they really look like?
That'd be great.
That would be super
You're
cool.
like, exactly.
Be like, I know who you are. Yeah, like you don't even have to like ask their name. You're just like, I know you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Miss Sandra.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you see, like, Mary, the mother of Jesus?
Mary, the mother of Jesus. Okay, so when I picture Mary, I see this girl. She's got like brown, brunette, like dark brown hair, and I always picture it like a little bit wavy, but like to here on her shoulders. And I always think she's got like brown eyes and like kind of a light tan kind of color skin. And I think she's not like super short, but about my height, so maybe like 5'3"-ish. And then, I don't know, I picture her as kind of just like always smiling, always with the belly. Not always, sometimes I picture her without the belly, but you always think mother when Jesus is being born.
Okay.
But yeah, I see like a teenage, younger girl, and that's basically how I picture Mary.
Do you picture the blue?
No, actually, for some reason, I always see her in like a tannish, like a manila kind of color, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then like a brown headscarf.
Yeah.
Like that's where my mind always goes.
I always think about blue because
All
a
the
lot of
paintings.
pictures, you see the blue.
Yeah.
So now you want to do Mary too? Let's hear
Sure.
your
So
version.
I've actually, until you said that, I've never pictured Mary like being pregnant. I was just like,
Really?
yeah, I've never had like pictured her like that before. But so I pictured her like probably like 5'3"
Okay.
or 5'2", like straight black hair, like really dark eyes, but pale, like more of like I guess like a Italian type, like light complexion, and then kind of skinny. But I've always pictured her in like white. I don't know why I pictured her in white, but I did.
That's
But,
cool.
Yeah,
Different.
yeah, that's about it.
I love hearing this. It's fun. I know. Like thinking how y'all. Because you just immediately, as soon as you hear the name.
A picture
Yeah.
of this evening.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, Sandra. How, when you hear Peter?
Ooh, okay. Peter. So fun. I always saw like this guy with like rough brown curly-ish hair, but like kind of short on his head. So like not like almost bald, but like a little bit of hair, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like wool, but not really. And then like I always pictured him with like either baby face or with like only a little bit of hair on his face. And then I always pictured him kind of strong because, he was a fisherman, so he had to like get all the fish and he's lugging the thing. And for some reason, he's always got like a bandana, which I don't know why, but I feel like he's always got like this brown like bandana across his head that he's wearing. And that's where I see Peter, and then he's got like his sandals and his robe thing. I don't remember what they're called, but yeah, that's how I see Peter with like little robe and the vest that goes over it with the belt and sandals. That's Peter.
I wonder if they did that back then.
Yeah.
When that started.
I don't know, but it's always been in my head of like, he's got to keep the hair out of his face, even though it's not that long.
Makes sense.
Interesting. So, Peter's a real interesting one for me.
What if I gonna do Peter?
What? I'm not doing Peter. Oh, yeah, I'm not doing. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, we can do Peter. I don't want to hear.
Okay, so Peter has always been real interesting. So I've pictured Peter as a redhead with, like not curly, but like real coarse and like hard hair, and like kind of like a medium length with a really big beard and blue eyes, and like pale complexion, but a big dude, like a 6'5", like a big man. I don't know why, but I've always pictured Peter as just like this big, burly, redheaded dude. And I've never really paid attention to what clothes I pictured him in, but like when I see Peter, that's what I see. I'm just a big, like redheaded guy. And everybody's just like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know. That's just what I think of when someone says Peter.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a different one.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I could keep going with that. Thank you for giving us insight into your brain.
Thank you for
Yep.
asking.
Thank
Don't
you.
get to give my ideas very often on pictures of people.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so were they describing them the same way you saw them, or did you see them totally different? Like, did you see Peter totally different than like how Miss Sandra was describing him, or Mr. Noah? Like, wasn't Peter, like, he was saying he thought he was redheaded? I mean, do you think he's redheaded, or were you picturing him black-headed or brown-headed? Were you picturing him with blue eyes or green eyes? I mean, it's neat? Like, you don't think about it, but we do that. Like, even though, like, maybe nobody asks us, but like when somebody starts talking to us about somebody, you immediately start picturing them, how you think they look, how you think Jesus looks. I mean, how many times have you like pictured how you think Jesus looks? And I think it really is going to be interesting when we actually know, when we go to heaven and we meet these people, like, are they going to look like how we pictured them? Are they going to look totally different? Because have you ever heard somebody say, they look totally different than I thought they would look? Like somebody they didn't know, and then they finally meet them, and then they're like, they are not at all what I thought they would look like. I mean, so I'm curious. So just think about it. But it made me think about Abraham and Sarah. You know, because like every time I would picture Sarah, Abraham's wife, I don't know, you kind of picture like, because they talk about her being old when she got pregnant, you know, when she was going to have a baby, she was old. And so I picture, you know, like how you do, you kind of picture gray hair, you picture, you know, I don't know, like maybe humped over a little bit, you know, some wrinkles, you know, I mean, picture like different things. But I was like reading, this is in like Genesis chapter 12 that tells this account in Abraham and Sarah's life, where God came to Abraham, and Abraham was like 75 years old, and God wanted him to move. He wanted him to move away from a place that he had been with all his family. You know, it was his home, and God was asking him to go to a totally different place. And you know, he was like, I'll do it. he packed up all his stuff, all of his family, not all of his family, but like his wife and his nephew Lot, and and his men servants and maid servants. He packed up all of his stuff and he started traveling. And so they go to different places, and when they got to this one place, there was like this famine going on, and so they needed to eat, because when there's a famine going on, that means there's no rain, things are not growing, they're running out of food. And so they're gonna go to Egypt. And you know what happens? As they're going, they're getting really close to being there. And Abraham turns to his wife and he asks her to lie. He asks her to only tell that she was his sister. Not that she was his wife, but that she was just his sister. And he started telling her, he's like, you are so beautiful. He's like, I know that they would kill me just to get to you if they think I'm your husband. And you know what? I was like, so then it made me start, okay, wait a minute. My picture of her is totally got to be wrong, because here she is. He's like, you are so beautiful. He's wanting her to lie. He's telling his wife to lie. Someone that loves God, that's trusting God about moving, but now he's telling his wife to lie. And you know what? They get to the country and it happens exactly what he's talking about. When she comes into the country, the king's men, some of the king's men saw her. Apparently news got round about her, and they saw her and they told the king, you have got to see her. And you know what? They went and they got her. And they brought her in, and he was like, he wanted her to be his wife. Because they're thinking she's not married. So I was like, you know what? She has to look totally different than what I'm picturing. Not that gray hair is not pretty, but like, I'm picturing, somebody like way, way old looking, And I'm like, she obviously did not look that way. So she's like totally different. But and you know what happened? The king took her and he put her, away in his palace, to prepare to marry her. And you know what? God started intervening. Because I bet Sarah started praying. But God started intervening and dealing with that king, the Pharaoh. He started dealing with him. And the Bible doesn't say what all he did, what all he was dealing with him about, but it caused him to be like, whoa. And he knew exactly that it had to do with Sarah and Abraham. So he goes to Abraham and he's like, why did you do this? Why did you lie? He's like, I could have married her thinking that she was just your sister. And he was like, okay, y'all go on. And he let them go on. He didn't put them in jail for doing that, because most people, they probably would have ended up in jail. They probably would have ended up being executed because they lied to the leader, the Pharaoh. But God dealt with him, so he was just like, okay, go. And he let him take all his stuff. He didn't keep any of the stuff, all because God dealt with him. And I got to thinking, here is Abraham. God asked him to leave everything he's known, to leave family, and go to this new place, and he was willing to do it. He was going to do it. He was going to obey God. But he's totally trusting God. Okay, you want me to move? I'll move. I trust you're going to take care of me. I trust that you're going to take care of me as I'm traveling. I trust you're going to take care of me in this new country, that there's going to be a place for me to live. I trust you. I trust that you're going to take care of me missing my family, my heart. I trust you. But then he comes along and all of a sudden, he's not trusting God about his wife. And it got me to thinking about how, like, have you ever noticed, like, there's things that you're just like, man, you trust God. You trust God, you know it's going to be okay, you take care of it. But then there's other things that, like, for whatever reason, you're having a hard time trusting. Like, I don't know, maybe you are, like you trust him about protecting you. Like, you don't think anything, God's going to protect you. You can go in a car, you can go in an airplane, you can go whatever, and God is going to protect you. But then maybe when it comes to school, or it comes to money, you don't trust him about that. Like, maybe you think, you can't go to him about your grades, or you can't go to him about money. Like, maybe you need some money for, like, some kind of trip or something you want to do. But you don't even think you can go to God about stuff like that. And that's exactly what happened with Abraham. It's like, why didn't he go to God and say, okay, God, I know my wife is beautiful and we're fixing to go in this country and I want you to protect us because I know how they would do. And I know you'll take care of us. And never, like, ask his wife to lie because he trusted God. And that's why God's like, he wants us, like, every area. And that's what God showed Abraham. He's like, look, Abraham, I can deal with even this king, this leader. I can deal with him in such a way that the Pharaoh, who was not serving God. He didn't know God personally. And God dealt with him in such a way that he knew that he was talking about Sarah, he was talking about Abraham, and that he better not mess with them. God dealt with him in such a way that he knew all that. And God was showing Abraham, see, Abraham, I can take care of you. You don't have to get your wife to lie. You don't have to lie. I can take care of you. And you know what? That's what God wants us to know, that we can trust him about everything. Those things that you're really good at trusting him about, and even those things that maybe you've never trusted him about, but you can. No matter what it is, you can go to God and trust him that he'll take care of it, that he'll help you, he'll protect you, he'll provide for you, no matter what it is, no matter who's involved. I mean, like, because Abraham probably was thinking, here I am, this one guy with, some people, and here you are, this king that has this whole nation of people that could come against me, a whole army. But God is greater and God is bigger. So no matter what it is, just ask yourself, and you can think of things that okay, I really don't trust God about this. Like getting things. Do you immediately always think, well, can mom and dad get this for me? Or no, they won't have the money. I know who will have the money. I'll go to my grandmother or my granddad. I mean, if we're thinking that way, God wants us to think of him. That's who you go to. Trust him and he'll take care of you. So I really would be interested in seeing how you think people look. So if you love drawing, draw us a picture and write out beside it, like, this is Abraham, or this is Sarah, or this is Peter, or this is Jesus. and send it in. I would really like to see it. Well, I'll see you next time, guys. Love you.